We're with Ryan Tagnelia. Ryan is a criminal lawyer in San Diego, California. He's going to answer some questions we're posted online. These are basically some advice on what you should look for when hiring a criminal lawyer. Let's go to the first question. The first question was from Craig. Craig says, I'm facing criminal charges. I need to find a good lawyer. What should I look for? What should I ask? And what should be the responses?
Well, the responses are going to vary by the attorney. Obviously, all lawyers have different levels of experience and, just in past cases that they've handled. And so the responses can vary, but the important part is the responses should make you feel comfortable. You have to understand that regardless of which attorney you end up picking, at some point, the decision is going to be yours, okay? The attorney can guide you through it. They can, it's their job to set everything up and to guide you along the path of your case. But at some point, in nearly all cases, there's going to be a choice for you to make. And you're going to ask your attorney for his or her advice. And when they give it, you want to be comfortable with them. And you want to know that they are acting in your best interest and that they're giving you honest advice that they feel is right and that is meant to help you. So as to what questions to answer to feel that level of comfort based on the responses, the ones I would recommend are, does the attorney have experience handling cases like yours? There are many common criminal cases that happen that many attorneys are going to have experience handling, whereas there are some that are hyper technical that the attorney maybe has never handled before. And so you want to be, comfortable that the attorney has the experience level with cases like yours, that you're comfortable with, that they can get you the best outcome possible. Have they just been around long enough in general? Believe it or not, a lot of criminal law is about interpersonal relationships between the parties, the court, and even sometimes the officers. So you want to make sure that your attorney is well regarded and well known in the area or the jurisdiction where your crime occurred. Finally, you want to make sure that your attorney has gone to trial on cases like yours. Most cases result in a plea bargain of some kind. However, if your case ends up being that one of the select few that goes to trial, you want to make sure you have an attorney that will stand up and say, like, no, we are not taking a deal. We are going to go to trial, and I know how to, handle that trial and hopefully be successful for you. On any criminal case, the DA or city attorney is going to make an offer of some kind. Regardless of case, if they filed it, there will be an offer. It might be a good offer, it might be a bad offer, it may be a no offer, but there will be something. And at some point, you will have a choice to make on whether or not to accept that offer, or whether or not to take the case to trial, which may, yield a great result if you win, but may give away substantial concessions on the DA's part if you lose. So you want an attorney that is experienced enough to know when the odds are in your favor enough to warrant throwing away whatever benefit the DA is willing to give you. And then I know I said finally, but there's one more thing, the price. Obviously, you're going to want to know how much that lawyer is going to cost. And so, I'm not saying shop around, but see if you can get some insights on how much, your case costs in general. Do you want to be spending $10,000 on a first offense DUI? Probably not. Do you want to be spending $25,000 on a first offense, cocaine possession? Probably not. But that being said, you don't have any experience in hiring a lawyer. Most people don't. And so be sure to ask a lot of questions and talk about, down payments, payment plans, what services are included in the fee, and make sure it's a fee that you're comfortable with paying.
All right. The next question was from Sadie. Sadie said, I asked my lawyer how many cases he's won in my area of defense. I guess this kind of goes into what you were saying a minute ago. He says criminal lawyers are different because we might win. We might not be getting the charges dropped, but actually getting a reduction in the sentence, which can be just as good. Is that right, or is he just a bad lawyer?
All right, Sadie, that's a great question, and I'm glad you asked it, because that attorney was not lying, and he's not bad, but it is something that deserves a further explanation. So like I said for the last question, on nearly all cases, the DA is, or city attorney or attorney general or U.S. attorney or whatever, the prosecutor is going to make an offer of some kind. And that offer can be very good or very bad, depending on, perhaps the groundwork that the defense attorney did and, interviews or just anything that the defense attorney did that gave them some leverage over the prosecution that would make that offer better than what they originally planned. So I'll give you a couple of stark examples that'll give you an idea. So let's say that someone is charged with murder with a firearm, right? They're charged with shooting somebody. So that person would be facing 50 years to life, okay? Because they get 25 to life for the first degree murder and then 25 to life for the use of the firearm, right? However, let's just say that they go to trial and the defense attorney is successful in arguing that they didn't intend to kill the person and that the shooting was accidental, okay? Well, guess what? That defendant could still be convicted of other crimes involving negligence or reckless discharge, whatever, manslaughter, etc., some lower offense. So in that scenario, the defense lost in that the jury came back with a verdict of guilty. However, depending on what lesser included offense the jury comes back with and what sentence the judge gives, the person, instead of getting 50 to life for the intentional shooting, is going to get something possibly in the single digits. So if you go from 50 years to life, and I'm never going to see the outside of a prison cell again, to, after my custody credits, I'm going to get out in 5, 6, 7 years. Yeah, there was a guilty verdict, but that is, of course, on any measurable scale, a win on the defense attorney's part. And so that's what the lawyer you were talking to was talking about. And that's a rather extreme example, but there are all sorts of variations, in the middle. The DA, their original offers, they want you to do 180 days in jail, and then your attorney, because they do a lot of work, mitigation package, do our jobs, you get no jail at all. Well, I mean, assuming you were stone cold guilty of the crime, that's still a win. So yes, it is possible for defense attorneys to lose in the absolute sense in that the case results in either a guilty plea or a guilty verdict, but still win in that the result you got was substantially better than what you would have gotten had you not had a capable and experienced attorney.
Excellent. Well, if you have any more questions for Ryan, just post them in the comments section below. Thanks for your time, Ryan.
Hey, thank you. And if you have any other questions, you can also call me at 619-577-0868. Thanks a lot.
Thanks.